Hello everyone, welcome back to my B&B Today spoiler channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Support this channel, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The bold and the beautiful B&B spoilers for Wednesday, July 22nd. Reveal that Katie, Logan Spencer, Heather Tom will get some alarming news about Eric Forrester, John McCook, will Spencer crew Morrow. Will also fail to convince Electra Forrester, Linnea Grace to see things his way. So let's talk about all the mayhem. At Bikini Bar, Eric tried to come between Will and RJ Forrester, Brian Nicoletti, as their argument threatened to escalate to a full-blown brawl that led to Will decking Eric by mistake. But he tried to explain that it was just an accident in the aftermath. Of course, Electra is furious anyway, since Eric took quite a blow and went down hard. Electra is wondering how Will could do something like this, despite Will's excuses and repeated attempts to defend himself. This seems like the last straw for Electra. Will's had one aggressive meltdown to many. So Electra will side with RJ as he rants about his rival and sticks up for the Foresters. It's clear that Electra won't be turning her back on the Forrester clan and defying their orders to stay away from Will. The more Will acts out, the more Electra sees a dangerous side of him that she doesn't like. This is just more evidence that Spencers and Forresters don't mix. So Electra is starting to buy B&B's daily mantra at this point. Katie will eventually hear about Will's involvement in this shocking confrontation. Once that happens, Katie will reel over Eric getting injured because of Will's actions. Katie will no doubt give Will a lecture sooner or later. But Bill Spencer, Don Diamont, may back Will up about the accident and suggest Eric should have known better than to get tangled up in the fight. Whatever the case, Katie will take a trip to the Forrester estate later this week. We'll see Katie head off on a mission to do damage control. But Brooke, Logan Forrester, Catherine Kelly Lang, and the Forresters aren't going to be happy with her. The bold and the beautiful spoilers say we'll just set the stage for another showdown between Brooke and Katie. So stay tuned. Buckle up, bold and the beautiful fans. Wednesday, July 22nd is shaping up to be one of the most emotionally charged episodes of the summer. Between a shocking injury that sends Katie Logan spiraling into panic and a tense showdown between Will Spencer and Electra that could blow the lid off a secret he's been sitting on, there's not a single dull moment on the horizon. Grab your popcorn because Los Angeles' most dramatic family is about to prove once again why they're impossible to look away from. Eric's accident rocks the Forrester mansioner. Episode opens with what should have been an ordinary afternoon at the Forrester mansion. Eric Forrester, the family patriarch who has weathered more storms than perhaps anyone in Los Angeles fashion, finds himself the victim of a sudden and frightening accident. While details are being kept tightly under wraps by the show's writers, sources close to the storyline tease that the injury is serious enough to send shockwaves through the entire Forrester and Logan clans, and serious enough to have Katie questioning everything she thought she knew about their future together, whether it's a fall, a health scare, or something more sinister lurking beneath the surface remains to be seen. But what we do know is this: Katie is not going to take this lying down. Ever since reuniting with Eric, Katie has fought tooth and nail to protect their relationship and their happiness, often putting herself directly in the path of Quinn Fuller's wrath to do it. Now, watching the man she loves suddenly vulnerable and hurting is going to awaken every protective instinct she has. Expect Wednesday's episode to lean hard into Katie's emotional unraveling. She's spent so much of her bold and the beautiful journey being the strong one, the fixer, the one who holds the family together when everyone else is falling apart. But when it's Eric on the ground and Eric who needs her, will Katie be able to keep her composure, or will this be the moment her carefully maintained walls finally crack? A race against time. Insiders suggest this episode could feature a genuinely nail-biting sequence as the household springs into action. Picture it: raised voices in the foyer, someone reaching for the phone, Katie's hands shaking as she tries to assess how badly Eric is hurt. The tension is going to be palpable, and longtime viewers know that when B&B decides to slow down and sit in a moment like this, it usually means the consequences will ripple out for weeks to come. Will this injury be the wake-up call that finally makes Eric reevaluate his own mortality and legacy at Forrester Creations? Will it reignite old family tensions about who is really in charge of the company he built from nothing? And most importantly for shippers everywhere, will this brush with fear make Katie and Eric's bond even stronger, or will the stress reveal cracks that have been quietly forming under the surface? One thing seems certain. This storyline is not just a throwaway plot device. Eric's health has been a slow-simmering topic on the show for a while now, and Wednesday's episode could be the moment the writers start paying that off in a much bigger way. Fans should brace themselves for tears, for panic, and for a Katie performance that reminds everyone why she's one of the most underrated characters in daytime television. Meanwhile, across town, Will's excuses start to crumble while the Forrester mansion is dealing with its own crisis. Things aren't much calmer on the other side of town, where Will Spencer finds himself backed into a corner. Electra, never one to let things slide, is done accepting vague answers and half-truths. Wednesday's episode promises a confrontation that's been building for a while now, and it looks like Will's usual charm and quick thinking might finally fail him. Anyone who has followed Will's arc knows he's always been quick on his feet, someone who can talk his way out of almost anything. But Electra isn't just unibody. She's sharp, she's observant, and she's clearly reached her limit with excuses that don't add up. Wednesday's episode teases a pointed exchange where Electra pushes back on something Will has told her, refusing to simply nod along the way he might be used to. What makes this confrontation so compelling is Electra's refusal to simply accept things at face value. She's watched enough of Will's behavior to know something isn't adding up, and Wednesday's episode looks like the moment she finally calls it out directly. Expect a battle of wits, Will scrambling to reframe the situation, offering justifications that sound reasonable on the surface, and Electra countering each one with the kind of clarity that suggests she's already 3 steps ahead of him. This is the kind of dynamic that keeps viewers glued to the screen. To smart, strong-willed characters going back and forth, neither one willing to back down. And if Electra's instincts are right, this could be the beginning of a much bigger reckoning for Will, one that might pull in other members of his family before all is said and done. Could this tension between Will and Electra end their relationship before it even has a chance to fully take root? Or will this fight actually bring them closer, forcing Will to finally be honest about whatever he's been keeping close to the chest? Soap fans know that sometimes the biggest blow-ups lead to the strongest bonds, but only if both people are willing to actually hear each other out to storylines. One wild Wednesday, what makes this particular episode so exciting is the whiplash of emotional tones. One moment, viewers will be sitting on the edge of their seats worrying about Eric's condition and Katie's emotional state. The next, they'll be leaning in for a tense, dialogue-heavy standoff between Will and Electra that could reshape their relationship going forward. It's classic bold and the beautiful pacing, high stakes on every front, with no room to catch your breath. There's also the question of how these two storylines might eventually intersect. This show has never been shy about weaving its various families together in unexpected ways. And with the Logans, Forresters, and Spencers all deeply intertwined through generations of marriages, betrayals, and reconciliations, it wouldn't be surprising if Eric's health scare and Will's secret end up connecting down the line. Nothing in Los Angeles stays separate for long on this show. What to watch for as Wednesday's episode approaches. Here's what fans should keep an eye on. How serious is Eric's injury? And does it point to a bigger health storyline ahead? Does Katie's fear reveal something new about her relationship with Eric, or an old wound resurfacing? What exactly is Will hiding from Electra, and how deep does it go? Will Electra's persistence pay off, or will Will manage to dodge the truth a little longer? Could this be the start of a larger crossover storyline between the Forresters, Logans, and Spencers? Final thoughts Wednesday, July 22nd promises to be an unmissable hour of daytime drama, delivering both heart-pounding fear for the Forrester family and simmering tension for the younger generation trying to find their own footing amid family legacies of scandal and secrecy. Whether you're tuning in for Katie's raw emotional performance or savoring every clipped word of the Will and Electra showdown, one thing's for sure, the bold and the beautiful is not slowing down anytime soon. Stay tuned. Because if this episode is any indication, the drama in Los Angeles is only just heating up. Don't miss it.